Coming back to the stage is the man in red we all love, who's going to tell a fantastic story. Please give it up for Dave Schmidt.
I really want to have sex with that guy. So I'm a firm believer that anything that is not infinite is not love. I don't think you can love something more or less than anything else you've ever loved. When you love something, you've kind of achieved that escape velocity. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about the fucking infinite. But if there was one person that I loved more than anyone else, it was this girl named Elise. And the story about me falling in love with her starts when I was 19 years old and went to the first strip club that I had ever been to. And so there's this woman up on stage. She's the only stripper we get to see because the strip club is closing. She used to be a model. She is insanely fucking gorgeous. Like, the orgasm of angels kind of gorgeous. Like, swear to God, this girl would make people drop dead if they had poor hearts. And I'm 19, she's 24. And I pick her up, and we start a relationship. And her name was Hannah. And the third or fourth time I met her, she ends up introducing me to her 5-year-old daughter, Elise. And I had kind of made the decision to myself that, I'd witnessed things, I'd been around kids sometimes. And I realized that kids can smell it on you if you don't love them. Kids can smell and feel the awkwardness inside of you when you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to be around this kid. This kid's not my kid. But my relationship with Hannah was pretty intense. So I made the conscious decision of, you know what, I'm just going to drop off the cliff here and do what I can. And about, 2 months into our relationship, she had me babysit Elise. Now, Elise had a ton of anger issues. She was in kindergarten at the time. If you could get Fs in kindergarten, she was a straight F student. And so the first time that Hannah leaves me with her daughter, it's kind of awkward, and I'm standing there, and I'm just kind of like... And then she's like... Want to play a game? Yeah, sure. She's 5. We end up playing games. It's good times. I teach her this. I make up this game that I call Imagine, where we sit there and we scribble chalk marks onto this little kid's blackboard, and then we try to use our imagination to pick out images inside of it. And I used to sit there and read her story, or I would tell her stories when she would go to sleep. She always asked me to tell her stories. Not that I'm any good at telling stories, by the way. But I would always insist that she'd have to read to me first. She had to read something, anything that she wanted to, and she used to sit and practice reading the thing that she wanted to read to me that night so that she could read it better. So after about another 2 months, Elise no longer hits anything. Elise is a straight A student. And I loved that girl terribly. She just turned 16. I've never once missed a birthday. Always send her a birthday card. And the last time I ever saw her, when her mom had basically officially broken up with me shortly beforehand because I didn't make enough money. In fact, literally her reason was, you said that you never wanted to be rich. That's not really where I want to go with my life. But she'd found a much better guy that sold cocaine, so he had a lot of money. And so I'm over there for Hannah's birthday party with the coke dealer. And funny enough, I'm just hanging out with Elise. And probably the memory that I have the hardest time ever recalling is she says to me, you've been replaced, right? And I'm like, yeah, thanks. And she says, you loved me, didn't you? And I said, I always will. And she says, I really wanted you to be the one that gave me brothers and sisters.